Our next awardee is a professional small theater company that committed from its start in 2004 to promoting diversity, inclusion, and the cultures and concerns of people from around the globe by bringing audiences international plays performed with imaginative, non-traditional casting. Please welcome the 2021 recipient of the Missouri Arts Award in Arts Organization from St. Louis, Upstream Theater. Accepting the award on behalf of Upstream is its founding artistic director, Philip Boehm.
Thank you very much, Mr. Fraker, Mrs. Bishore, and Michael Downey. I also thank the Lieutenant Governor for the hospitality shown earlier today. And to that end, I'd like to start with something I believe is quite dear to the Lieutenant Governor, namely transportation. Transportation that relies on a solidly financed and carefully maintained infrastructure to keep roads reliable and bridges sound. I'm not just talking about fixing potholes on Route 94. The roads, I mean, are ones that connect people from very different places, and the bridges are those that span gaps of ignorance and cross chasms of indifference. As you can guess, I'm talking about art. Because the best works of art are ones that take us to some new place where we can see and hear and feel others and even ourselves in some new way. Art that sparks imagination, art that has the power to transport us. Our mission at Upstream is to bring a world of theater to St. Louis. And since 2005, we've put on 45 plays from nearly 20 different countries, most of which have been U.S. premieres. From the beginning, our art has been empowered by deliberate inclusion across race, gender, age, ethnicity, identity, ability, and experience. By sharing stories from around the world, we celebrate difference while underscoring our common humanity, increasing access not only to new works, but also to new genres, new ways of experiencing theater, new ideas. All too often, it takes a catastrophe to bring other parts of the world in closer focus. Ukrainian cities that until recently were literally off the map for so many now fill our screens with sights and sounds we could not imagine happening, at least not in Europe, in the 21st century, though sadly we seem more indifferent to them elsewhere on the globe. And while a play at Upstream Theater cannot turn the tides of war, perhaps we can bring these places a little closer and thereby broaden our own horizons. By putting faces on the figures, we can discern ourselves and recognize that the pain of a refugee who has lost her home is our pain too, just as the suffering brought by the pandemic is a shared suffering, with echoes through the ages from the bubonic plague to the smallpox epidemics that decimated the population of the very tribe for whom this state is named. Just as with other infrastructure, there's a lot of engineering that goes into producing live theater. In fact, you might think of artists as engineers of imagination. So it shouldn't come as a surprise that one of our board members is chief engineer for the city of St. Louis. Another board member, Mona Sabo, Mona please, is with me today. And with her native command of Arabic, she is helping prepare our next endeavor, a new play with music that will explore the basic human right to refuge and asylum. While we're fortunate to have a grant from the National Endowment for the Arts for that project, we are especially grateful to the Missouri Arts Council for their consistent support of our theater for over 15 years. And here I'd like to thank the board members, the volunteer panelists, selection committee, and especially the council staff. always so professional, so dedicated, so willing to help organizations of all shapes and sizes, and always going the extra mile despite challenges ranging from budget constraints to COVID shutdowns. State investment in our artistic infrastructure can really make a difference. It's common knowledge that the arts are both a sound economic investment as well as a rich source of education. They are also an investment in the bridges that connect, in the roads that lead to the future, in the pathways to imagination that is the key to empathy. Pathways we must forge ourselves. As the Spanish poet Antonio Machado reminds us, caminante no hay camino, se hace camino al andar. In other words, there is no road but the one we make as we walk ahead, or in the case of our theater, as we progress upstream. Thank you so much for this honor. Thank you.